Hello, today I want to give you another tour through my Trickle. It's end of January 2022. By now I have around 4,000 sources in here in Trickle. Let's start with the sources. Anything with the URL can be added as source to Trickle. You see here that I have a lot of newsletter articles, IMDb entries for films, Wired articles, tweets, websites, you name it, YouTube videos, anything with a URL can be added as a source to Trickle. Then we have experts, human beings, and in Trickle they are saved with their public profile URL. That can be a Twitter or Wikipedia, or it can also be LinkedIn and Facebook. We support more and more social networks. And the idea is that when I add these two things, for example, Wikipedia and Twitter, to someone here as an expert, then I don't mean specifically the Twitter profile, but this person. And so I can link this expert to, for example, the articles that this person has written. Then we have streams, a little bit act like folders in Trickle, but keep in mind that you can connect anything to anything in Trickle, meaning that you can connect a stream to another stream or to sources, to experts, and the other way around. So it's not so much that you actually add something to a stream, but rather you connect the two with each other. And that means also that when I'm in a stream, I see the things that I connected to the stream. And when I go to a source, for example, I see the streams that they are connected with. It works both ways. And finally, we have the strips are insights that you save or other people save and Trickle, like mini articles. And this is basically the synthesis of what you learn from all the content here in Trickle. There's no need to start with strips. Usually people start with collecting sources. I'll now show you a few example streams of mine. This is the product stream. I like to use this as an example because it was also a surprise for me. I started to collect things that I was tempted to buy, anything that, I don't know, tickled my fancy. In the past, I would have some of this bought immediately, but now I put this all in Trickle and basically use some time to cool off and think about it, whether I really need it. I also more and more came into the habit of just storing in there cool gadgets or cool tools. I would say that overall I buy less because of this. I feel happy to add it here. I know that I don't forget it. I can search for the things, but I don't need to buy something in order to act on that impulse. Another stream that I like are my newsletter issues. Basically, whenever I get a newsletter, I open the web version, add this to Trickle, and then I connect the things from that newsletter that are interesting for me. So this, for example, an article, a tweet, here and a report. And then when I open this in the future, for example, you see here in Trickle, there's a functionality that if I have from the current here, visualcapitalist.com, here's an article. I see another article I have from the same domain here in my Trickle. I'm now reminded of that, but I cannot say where I got this article from here. When I click on it, I see that this was in this newsletter, in another newsletter that I get. So this reminds me of where this comes from. I can also click on the newsletter, and again I see what I saved from that newsletter. And so that gives me a much better memory of the things that I consume and learn and find insightful when I save it here in Trickle, and then I can recall it much better when I see here the thumbnails. Another stream that I like is my later list. Later list programs like Pocket or Instapaper, I think they are great and I recommend using them. But here I make a slight distinction. I put articles in Trickle that I want to keep, Sometimes I know that a recommendation from someone I trust is already enough, or when it's a newsletter or a podcast that I like, then I put it in here. In Pocket and Read It Later systems, I would put also stuff where I don't know that's good stuff or not. But here, things that I trust are already good stuff. I tend to put them in Trickle and then I connect them in the later list. Similarly, there's the later watch list where I put movies and TV series that I would like to watch and that were recommended to me. I connect it to this, and Trickle is very flexible to use it for whatever need, for whatever use case you like. You can actually build a stream for that. Also, here you saw the private node. The private node is a place in Trickle where I can make notes to anything. So for example, a YouTube video, I can make my own notes here. I always know where I have them. Since this is also searchable, I have here LTL for later list, and I use this when I save something to Trickle that I want to add to my later list. I just type LTL here in the search, and then it searches in my Trickle, shows me the results, and here this is found because of the private node here. And then there are topic streams. One example could be future, where I like to add articles that kind of give me an idea for how the future might look like. Flying cars, amazing computer-generated avatars, robots, stuff like that. It gets more and more over time. You can have any topic that you want and collect things in Trickle. So yeah, that's the current situation here. I hope that gives you a nice idea. See you in another tour through my Trickle. Bye.